Hey guys, Dr. Ben Galyardt here, author of the book Rebuild Your Brain, Stop the Damage, Start the Repair. I just want to go over a topic today that is very commonly expressed to us that there's an issue, and that is vertigo. And vertigo is something that if you've never experienced it, it is not much fun. Vertigo is described different ways. Some people, it's going to be where the world is spinning around them. Other people, they're moving themselves. Doesn't really matter. There's different types, different causes, different reasons, and I want to go over some of those main ones today as to what may be causing somebody's vertigo and what are some of the things that we do on a daily basis to help people with vertigo and some tricks that you can do at home to help with this issue. So one of the first places to start is what is usually going on with somebody that's having vertigo. A couple of the main reasons we see that. One, the most common you hear about is the crystals in the ears are going to be out of position, and that's where somebody leans their head back and the world is spinning, and maybe that happened from changing out a light bulb or being up under something and things got shifted in there. There's the Epley maneuver, which is very helpful, and you can look at it online. You can have a physical therapist do it. You can have your doctor do it, different things like that. But it's basically going to be holding your head back and letting those crystals settle into the right position, and there's a certain procedure done for that. So that would be one of the first places to start, and if that fixes it, great. Some people it does. If not, then you move on to the next part. So the crystals is one part of that. If there is that crystal involvement, we will also do cold laser therapy. We'll do a lot of different acupuncture, different things that are going to help get those back into the right place. So that's one part of it. The next is going to be blood flow to the brain. And blood flow to the brain is going to be a huge part of why is that vertigo happening? Why is that brain not able to tell where it is in space? And so with vertigo and blood flow, this is a very common thing that we see with lots of people, whether they're getting vertigo or not. But that blood flow to the brain is going to be crucial for everything. The brain needs two things to function optimally. It needs fuel and activation. Activation is going to be communication with the rest of the body, proprioception, knowing where the joints are, etc. But then the fuel is going to be oxygen and glucose. So if we're not getting blood flow to the brain, we're not getting glucose and we're not getting oxygen to the brain. So we've got to be able to get that flowing. So why would we have some reasons where we're not getting that blood flow to the brain like we're supposed to? Well, one of the big ones that we look at, the first thing is adrenals. So everyone's heard of the adrenal glands. There are stress glands. They're going to respond to stress of all different types. And if you've heard me speak before, you know the number one reason why we get adrenal deficiency is it's not our spouse, not our kids, not our job, not finances. It's actually blood sugar. Blood sugar's highs and especially lows are going to be very stressful for blood sugar. So what do we need to do? We need to stabilize that blood sugar. But adrenals also give tone to the blood vessels. So if you're squatting down, you stand up and you get dizzy, you're not getting blood flow to your brain. And that is usually adrenal tone is just not pumping up like it should. So we're not able to get the blood flow to the brain, the oxygen, the glucose, all those things that we need on a regular daily basis, every consistent over and over and over. If there's fluctuations in there, that's why you get hangry when your blood sugar gets low. That's why you get dizzy when you change positions, all those things because you're not getting that consistent flow. So we'll look at circulation in the toes. So capillary refill, you squeeze the toe, it should come back. The color should come back within 1 to 2 seconds. If it doesn't, then that means that you're not getting that blood flow. If your toes are cold, we use just one of the little laser temperature gauges. And most of the time, if somebody's got poor blood flow, they're going to be the same temperature as the floor, their toes are, versus you do it over your neck and it's like 94 degrees. So we should be at least 5 to 10 degrees warmer on the toes than the floor is, but a lot of times it's going to be almost identical, which just means you are not getting that circulation through. If you're not getting circulation to your toes, you're not getting circulation to your brain, you've got a cold brain as well. So we've got to be able to get that blood flow going. So the adrenals are one of the first places to start for that, and figuring out that we have to start with the blood sugar, and so we look at the blood sugar monitoring. My next book coming out is all on blood sugar and how we're going to be able to stabilize that. So From there, we say, well, what can we do symptom-wise? Because a lot of people, they're like, okay, well, that's all well and good, but I don't have 3 months to fix my adrenals, fix my blood sugar. I've got to get this cranking. And so pine bark extract is one of the first places that we start, and we utilize that pine bark extract to give a boost to the brain. You can work on nitric oxide support, a bunch of different things that you can do short term to get that blood flow going, feverfew, all types of different nutrients to help the blood flow to the brain, and that can help with the vertigo as well. Most of the time, if we can get that blood flow going, it'll make a dramatic difference. One of the other reasons that we see that we're not getting blood flow is the actual structural imbalances. So cranial bones can, if that cranial sacral rhythm, the cranial rhythm is not doing what it needs to do, we're not going to get blood flow into the brain. We've got one of the best cranial techniques that we do in the office, nasal specific. We insert a small balloon into different nasal cavities, inflate it, adjust the cranial bones from the inside out. Huge for sinuses, huge for migraines, huge for head injuries, all types of different things. But getting those cranial bones into the right place is going to be huge for this process. Then we look at, from there, we also look at what's happening in the neck. And so for some people, they need some type of chiropractic adjustment, whether that's with an instrument, a manual adjustment, whatever it is. The cerebral artery actually goes through the bone in the neck and goes up into the brain, into that top bone. There's a hole in there, and so if that bone is out of position, that can affect blood flow to the brain as well. There was a study where they looked at people that had celiac. They did a brain scan, follow-up brain scan 6 months later after being off of gluten, and there was a significant increase in blood flow to the brain. So food allergies is a huge part of keeping that blood flow to the brain. So lots of different things, but ultimately, can we get blood flowing to the brain? Exercise, high intensity interval training, all types of different things are going to get that blood flow to the brain. So vertigo definitely can be helped. It's not something we just have to live with. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to drop us a line, email, Facebook message, anything like that. If you know somebody dealing with vertigo, give them help, because it is one of the worst things people can have to deal with on a daily basis. So share this with anybody that you know that's dealing with vertigo, and we'll be hearing from you soon if you've got any issues with that. And keep your eye out. We'll be getting more information out as we go along.